Zone.
The Empire strikes back with multiple laser attack, Decepticon infiltration, stealing information, tapping communication with recordicons, target massive sound wave stereo. I don't believe in a no-win scenario for an epic adventure, no retreat, no surrender. Cleaning up the city with Mayor Mike Hagar, clashing with the Foot Clan in the shadows of the streetlights, spotlights, bright lights, and if you got a new pet, don't feed him after midnight. Cruising on our bicycles, we never say die. From the attic to the basement, uncovering the secrets with the power bracelet. Ryu and Ken style, kicking it on the pavement. 88 miles per hour, we at a time. Meanwhile, at Warp Zone.
Well, welcome to Meanwhile at Warp Zone. This is Scott speaking, and we have Carey here once again with us.
Heyo.
And I have another Scott, just to confuse you. We have double Scotts on the show today. Scott, go ahead and say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
I don't know, Scott. I feel like you're kind of like the biggest star that we've had on the show. And I will say, because she told me to say something, my sister, I don't know, it was like, oh man, it was like, I guess it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe it was probably earlier than that because I feel like she's close. But it was like every other day she would talk to me. She's like, you should check out this band called Zayo. You should check this out. You should check it out. Look, here's the picture of the front man. There he is with the big long dreads. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
Just for you listening, Scott is the guitar player for Zayo.
Yes.
What,
so I feel like
Scott's
you should.
Comments.
I don't know. I don't think you should. I was gonna kind of have you introduce yourself, but there's not really anything to say. I guess you're a guitarist for Zayo. So
Yes.
we are all very excited about that, and I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's good things are to come.
Okay. So to kind of introduce the show, introduce our host, so we can learn some more about us, of course.
In addition to being a guitar player, Scott is also a huge fan of the cartoon and toy line M.A.S.K.
Yes,
correct. Which
very
just
huge
so
fan.
happens to be our topic today. I don't know how that worked out, but yes.
These things just come together. The planets just align.
That's it. I was actually just going to say that
Every time.
planets align and we, the universe is speaking to us.
None of it's planned. None of it.
I put the staff up and the sun shot through it. It all worked out.
Okay, so I have another introduce yourself to the audience kind of question, and we're gonna do them one every podcast. So get used.
Oh,
to
I
it.
didn't actually get notified of this one ahead of time.
I did. I sent it to you. I
completely
yesterday.
forgot what it is then.
It's and you know what? I didn't even think about it until now. Now I'm racing my mind trying to think of something. But the question is, what's your favorite movie with a nerd as the main character?
Oh, I remember now. What?
Oh,
I had one picked yesterday too.
I kind of just got one. So, but
okay, I got
so
mine
many.
back. I remember from yesterday.
Let me just start off by summarize. There's so many. There's so many, and you know what?
It's a bunch.
And I kind of want to after we're done with this, and I know it might take longer, but I want to do worst movie with a nerd in it, worst.
okay.
Because go ahead, Carey.
You want me to tell you mine?
Let's hear it.
Okay, mine. I'm gonna go ahead and some people may not say he's a nerd, but everybody, treats him like a loser. He references being a loser / nerd in high school and all that. The movie I'm gonna pick is Career Opportunities.
Jeez.
Just because also who, wouldn't want to, as a kid, I was like, man, that's the greatest thing ever. Yes, I want to be locked in a store with Jennifer Connelly.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
I've never seen it. Is it just?
I'm really sad that you haven't seen it.
Know,
Is kind of like
an
unremembered or seen movie by a lot of people.
And it's John Hughes.
Yes.
So we all should have seen it.
It is a John. I believe he was the writer, not the director. I don't think he actually directed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he did.
I think he mostly was a writer. But it's John Hughes. It's actually got several other famous Dermot Mulroney's in it. That might be about it of note. Oh yeah, I forgot. There is an uncredited scene with John Candy though.
John Candy, yeah,
Oh, what a awesome comedian that died too young. Horrible.
John Candy is who I look up to
Mhm.
base my own life off of.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
basically.
fantastic.
And it-
Yes.
I want to be like an amalgamation of like Uncle Buck and
Yep.
multiple other
Yeah.
John Candy characters.
I think you're so far you're really on your way.
I really
If
feel
you
like it. I mean, I watch, I want to be, the dad from Great Outdoors and Summer Rental.
Yes.
Mission accomplished, Carey.
Right on. I even have a hat like him from Uncle Buck.
I've never seen you wear that. I'm
I never
very
seen it.
bummed
I wanna
out right
see it.
now.
I will wear it.
You should bring
Okay.
it to the next shoot so we can all
I
see
will.
it.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
bring it to Florida wearing this.
Yes, you
this
should.
huge furry hat.
You'll
come
fit in,
on
dude.
the-
I wouldn't even be worried about it.
Right?
The airplanes get cold. They understand.
This is true.
It's chilly.
This is true.
Scott number 2, you should go next because I'm
Oh.
still thinking, or unless you're not ready.
If you're not
let me-
ready, see,
I'm not ready, but let me.
I can continue to BS about my own movie.
Let's do this. How about we? Because I'm thinking like movies are going through my head, but I don't know if they constitute nerds
Gotcha.
like
Well,
as
here,
the main lead.
let me use something to help. Maybe it'll help you.
Yeah,
an
my
idea. Like
job.
Neo, Matrix. That's a nerd.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
I mean, because I mean, he was a hacker. I mean, that's nerdy as
True.
it gets. I don't. But I'll go while you're thinking of it because
Okay.
I had
That
like
sounds
a
perfect.
pretty obvious. Like I'm going to say like not Neo, but it was going to be something as obvious. But I thought of one that popped in my head while Carey was talking. 3 O'Clock High.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Buddy.
That
Oh,
really.
My goodness.
I mean, that is like the nerd movie.
no,
to-
I got
to
to
be
I have to
nerd.
share with you, Scott. Have I told you my buddy Ravel story?
Yes, but I don't think everybody in the audience has heard it. So you
Okay.
You have a
so-
Buddy Ravel
He
story?
does. He
I have
does.
a Buddy Ravel story. And
Oh
here's
my
the
goodness.
funniest thing about it. I've watched that movie so many times over the course of my life. The fact that somebody had to point out to me that it's a Buddy Ravel story, it was like my head exploded the day they pointed this out to me. And it
Okay.
was a mutual acquaintance of mine and Scott. Scott number 1. We'll go here.
I'm number 2, I guess, and you're number
Oh, you're number
3.
2?
Well, I don't
You
know.
just
You
called-
said Scott number 1. I'm acquaintance with who? Of somebody?
No, it's Mike Davidson is the acquaintance. It's a
Oh.
mutual acquaintance of ours.
He's
Okay.
he's the one who told you that it was a Buddy Ravel movie.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was
Scott and myself, when we were in school, we worked at GameStop with another gentleman named Mike.
Okay.
And I was telling him the story of when I can't remember if I was a junior or senior for this one, but it was an art class, and this guy kept poking me in the chest. Like, he was doing that thing where he pokes you really hard in the chest, like he's
worst.
like, trying to instigate something. Well, the second or third time he did it, I just grabbed his finger and yanked it, and I broke his finger.
nice.
Holy wow.
Nice. You did
Well, I'm
what we
just
all
telling
wanted to do.
this. I don't even know why I'm telling the story. Like, whatever me and Mike were talking about that night, that was my turn to tell a story. And I tell him that, and he's like, "You're Buddy Ravel." He's like, and I'm like confused. I'm looking at him for a minute. And then it all like comes, how like they show in the movies where it's like a flutter of pictures and stuff like that. Like, it's like this movie flips through my head again real fast. It's like, oh my God, how did I never make this connection?
I am Buddy Ravel. That's me.
That is insane.
And then I was super excited about it.
You should be. Not many people get those kind of experiences. And when he did it, did you throw him against a bunch of books? Like,
No, I don't recall
in the
throwing him.
library?
I remember
you-
after like doing it, him jumping up and down a bunch, and me looking around like
Oh,
seeing if anybody's seen me do it.
what happened afterwards?
He came in the next day with like a splint on his
Did
finger.
he leave right then and there? Right away?
No, I don't think it went home or anything.
Jeez, that's brutal, man. That's like,
It is.
man.
You're like
The funniest part about it is we were in art class, and the art teacher realized what occurred and didn't even care. He thought it was hilarious, basically.
Gosh, your school is awful. Bunch of
Yeah.
podunk teachers. That's awful.
To be fair, he was kind of a troublemaker.
Whatever.
Note to-
I don't care.
No, man. Note to self, no poking Carey in
know.
the chest.
There's
I
a
need
Hey,
my
it was only a
fingers.
defensive measure.
You're right. You don't poke people in the chest. What are you
No,
doing?
like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? If I would not expect anything less if I came up
yeah
and poked you in the chest to get hit in the face.
poking.
Like, if I come up and do that, something's gonna happen to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, that's yep.
I don't expect to go up to another man and poke him in the chest or poke him anywhere and not expect violence in return.
yeah, I was
Lines
reading
have been
book,
crossed.
a book about like violence and how it escalates and stuff like that. And what they call you, Carey, in that book is I can't remember the name, but it was like imbalance because you don't have the proper like social, like you don't escalate with the person. You just go to right to finger breaking.
No,
Because there's like what they call a monkey dance, where you're like, I'm gonna hit you. No, you're not. And then they just keep like doing little things that slowly escalate. But Carrie's like, I'm gonna take this from bottom to top. Forget
Carey
this
just threw a
break.
cinder block at that guy.
That's the way to win the fight. That's the way to win.
It's true.
People aren't ready for a punch. They're not
true.
ready for nothing.
No,
they're ready for the monkey dance. That's what
they
they
were
want.
Ready for the
They
monkey.
wanted the monkey dance, and they weren't expecting fight right away.
I'm going to say, hopefully, he will be nerdy enough. But Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I think both Bill and Ted were nerds.
The thing about it is, I think they thought they were cool, but I think they were only
horribly
each other's
nerdy.
friend. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
They were
nobody
their own
liked them.
friends. Nobody liked
They
them
were
in
kind of
school,
almost
right?
like Beavis
Yeah.
and Butthead. Like, they're not nerds, Beavis and Butthead, but they're like losers. Like
Yeah.
nobody.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess
Strange
it's
thing.
not exactly the same thing. I don't know.
No, because I think when they were performing in front of the school, everybody's like, these guys, who are these guys?
Who are these guys?
Yeah, and then I mean, obviously, if you bring Abraham Lincoln in front of people, they're going to be pretty excited.
Yeah, that's all I got to do.
So,
And it's,
I mean, I don't think they liked them. I think they liked Abraham Lincoln, and
Yeah.
and
It was like they were winning over the school, because they were nerds. So mission accomplished,
Yeah,
Scott
okay.
number 2. You did it.
okay.
But
there's an actual scene where somebody like,
Yeah, don't they call them something?
I think it might be geek. They call somebody a geek.
oh no.
It's like, I think Abraham Lincoln. No, it's either Abraham Lincoln. It's Socrates and Billy the Kid are hitting on girls at the mall. And
That's right. You're right.
Sigmund
You're right.
Freud comes up and says something to them. And they're like, you are such a geek.
Yep.
And they like walk away and like, Billy the Kid's all mad about him scaring the girls away.
That's
and
right.
Socrates
right.
just goes, geek.
Yep. You were totally, absolutely correct.
There you go.
That's-
You did it right this time.
All right, good.
Our topic today will be, and just to, give you some ideas of what this show is about. The voice acting leaves a lot to be desired. There's an overabundance of characters. The action.
There is a lot of mass characters.
Yes.
The action moves at a snail's pace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
But,
man, you're starting with a lot of hate, man. This is a
but-
really this is a big preface of hating on this.
but the cool vehicles in it turn into even cooler vehicles. What am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about M.A.S.K. because we
Dude,
already
It
said
is.
Dude, the intro, the cartoon, like the song with the cartoon intro is just enough for your 8-year-old boner to pop out again.
I think
It
you should
totally
try. I
does.
think Carey should, because I have the lyrics right in front of him. I think you should sing a line or two because
Mass Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime, fighting crime.
Secret Raiders. I didn't listen to it enough times to know how the measures go, but
The chorus is wonderful with the mask.
yes, that's
It's like it almost kind of harkens to Orgasmo's
Oh,
so
song
glad you
there.
said that.
Scott said the same thing the other day too. That's awesome.
The Man song.
It
I
is.
got a man.
What a great movie.
See, but like I also thought earlier, because I was talking to other Scott earlier, and he was we were both discussing how it reminded us of like a Stan Bush song though too, like the
Yeah.
touch from Transformers kind of thing.
You got the touch.
Yeah, it kind of gives you like that whole vibe. It's
It really does.
I love that like 80s intro songs to cartoons are so literal. It's like a Randy Newman song, you know what I mean? It's like,
Walking down the street.
these guys are getting masked up, now they're good at drive cars. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, they don't screw around,
Here's
man. They just
the one part I like. Trekker's gonna lead the mission. Inspector's got his supervision.
Exactly. It's like they just kind of had like a little bio of each of these characters, and then they're just, this guy shoots his gun hard. You know? Other
like-
guy rides a motorcycle.
It's like, here, I want you to write a song for this. 15 minutes later, here's your song.
Here's your song.
You're welcome. Pay me money.
Welcome. It's gonna be big.
It's like, I kind of like, speaking about like it being a Stan Bush song, it has all the quirks of a Stan Bush song, but it has to get that hype within like 30 seconds. So
Yeah,
it's
there's no
Yeah.
build to
There's
it.
no
It's
build.
like a kick in the face right off the start.
it's like here's some
Yeah, you don't have like an
awfulness.
coming chorus or anything.
Yeah.
You can't just
Yeah.
keep the choruses coming.
You can't like build with like more and more instruments as it goes. It's got to
Mhm.
be bam, bam,
Yep.
bam, bam, and stuff. Yeah, but
Then it's over.
then it's over. And, then you
And
gotta
I could
watch.
listen to the theme song over and over.
It's
I
pretty
sing
funny.
it through the house, and my wife wants to stab me in the heart.
My wife actually, when I forced her to watch Mask on TV, she looked at me and she said, Jem's theme song is so much better. And I'm like, you would say that.
Jem.
I mean, how can I argue? Like, this isn't for you anyway, really.
Yeah.
Sad that I know that whole theme song too.
Yeah.
What's that? Sing that song.
Okay, let me think. It's just like Jam is a type man. Ooh, Jam. And like it's just like it just yells Jam, and then there's like a verse. You know what I mean?
Jim. I like how it
And then
takes.
it's the truly outrageous part. Jam, truly outrageous, truly outrageous.
That's it.
Oh, Jam. There's not a lot of words to it.
It
Scott.
takes no coaxing for you to just start
no,
bursting
not
into
at all.
songs.
But here, I got to jump to this one now. But the one that takes the cake of all the song intros, She-Ra. How about that She-Ra intro, Scott? You remember?
Oh,
No.
man. I don't know if I do.
She-Ra, do 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 do, She-Ra. It just is like yelling She-Ra over it.
Was that when they stopped caring, I guess?
She-Ra. What's that?
They must have just stopped caring by that point.
Apparently, they're just
we-
like, you know what? These motherfuckers are gonna buy
Yeah.
this shit anyway,
That's
and just have them yell She-Ra a bunch of times to some techno music. We're
Yeah,
good.
who cares?
I got
Called
this homeless guy. He's gonna write us a song.
Working for a cheese sandwich.
He's so excited.
He's
gonna do
so
a good job.
excited. Look at him.
The best
doesn't
thing
even know how
for
that
me-
computer works. He's trying to rub the sandwich on it.
Oh, he's just doing opium right now. That's all.
Whoever marketed She-Ra's genius. Because how do you get dudes, little boys, to buy
Yeah.
dolls?
Well, you
I
know
mean,
what's funny? I never owned any of the girl figures, but I owned every She-Ra villain. I had
Really?
Hordak and all them, like
I do
guess
too,
I didn't
yeah.
have all of them. I didn't have like I had the main ones that were more crossovered with the He-Man line, like a
Mhm.
Leech and all those.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say, it took me, maybe now I'm more of a lady than a man, but you guys were ladies when you were little.
Oh,
Sort
You
of.
started out so
but
ladylike.
we
Well, I
with
didn't
my
have
Gilmore
those,
Girls.
our dongers were still growing and whatnot, Scott. There wasn't pumping out that testosterone. Like, what's your excuse now?
I have no excuse. I'm
Yeah, at least
completely
we had,
cognizant
like-
of everything I'm doing.
Did your testes resend?
They did. I have a vagina now. It's
Oh.
just something I have to deal with. I mean, I don't know. It's
Is that what
that?
that seam on your
Mhm.
crotch opened up?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I
You know,
have-
that is, it's not a bad thing. I mean,
It's not, Scott. It's
I mean,
vaginas
really.
are good.
yeah.
there's a lot of girls that like vaginas.
It's true.
Okay, so I want to jump to now. Like, it doesn't have to be the toy, but what would you pick as your favorite mask vehicle? And if you have to do like one for Mask and one for Venom, that's fine.
Maybe.
But like, if there's one that stands out, like that's the one that that's the one that does it for me. That's the coolest one of them.
Okay. For me, I would have to say I've always been super partial to the trucks, but on the Mask side of it, the Bulldog truck is just such a fantastic truck. Not only does it kind of look like Optimus
I was
Prime.
just gonna say that's the
Yeah.
Optimus style one, right?
Yeah, it looks like, but it like you have this gruff, like German-looking driver with a kick-ass bear mask.
Is he
I
the
mean,
bald one with the beard?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. And
The red
then
beard.
I'm trying to remember his name. I'm looking it up for us.
Boris.
Boris.
It's Boris Bushkin, I believe. So
The Bulldog is awesome. Like I've had a couple of those. I've had a couple of those come through the shop, but I've never had the driver. I've
Yeah,
never
it's-
seen the Boris figure in person. He's cool.
That one probably, because like obviously Rhino's killer, but there's something about Bulldog that always.
Rhino is very iconic for me.
Yeah,
If you would have asked
absolutely.
childhood Carey, it would have been all about Rhino. Because
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you
you
know,
can't.
and here's the thing too, and this is what a lot of people, what I think is weird. It's not like the Rhino is like the logo. It's in the logo,
Mhm.
and it's like probably the most iconic vehicle from the series. But it is not like the main good guy's vehicle.
No, which is
And-
weird because I remember we were talking about this, and when you got Rhino in, and you were like, "So Alex Sector goes with this," and
Right, and I even thought that Matt Tracker went with it with Alex Sector.
yeah, like
I
so.
forgot about Bruce Sato.
Yeah, the first series, I mean, Matt Tracker doesn't even touch Rhino. It's Sector and Sato the whole time.
But the thing is, like it was just blazed into my brain. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because the logo shows the truck and
Yeah.
Matt Tracker's helmet
Yeah,
or mask.
So you-
I don't know. I'm glad I called it a helmet. Like a mom with the toys here. Like, oh, it's your
nice.
little
helmet.
fella lost his helmet
Yeah.
there.
My wife says that to me now, so it's cool.
It's weird because the show's called Mask. I don't want to reference everything in it as a mask for whatever reason.
Well,
God,
see,
if that sounds dumb, I
here-
keep doing that today when I was
here's the
talking about
thing:
it.
like, they're not masks, dude. They are helmets.
Right,
Yeah,
it's a
they're
full
helmets.
head thing.
It's a full helmet. Like the mask, like if it was, Jason wears a mask. These dudes wear helmets that do like anti-gravity.
And I think we need to touch on something real quick just because we haven't addressed it, and I'll jump back to the favorite vehicle thing.
Mhm.
We've never even explained the acronym yet.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
I think
acronym.
that's a pretty big stretch for the end. I don't
It's
understand why they made it a K, you know what I mean? Or I know they
Yes.
or why they didn't just use a different word or something.
Go
Yeah.
ahead and say it, Carey.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna forget.
I can say it if
Mobile.
you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's the A one I always mess up.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm thinking.
you can get it.
Oh.
Armored,
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
you did.
Mo- got
mobile,
it.
armored, strike command.
There
There
you
you
go.
got it.
You
Armored
did it.
strike
You
command.
did it.
Awesome.
And like I don't know, command with K for me is just awful. I don't know. Looking at it looks terrible. I mean,
They were ahead of their time. I mean, look at Korn, the band, and.
Mhm.
but then I
and
guess
I-
also
I
with
can't think of anybody else with a K.
Venom is pretty bad though too. With Venom, the villains being
Oh,
the
it's the
acronym
worst. I would like to.
Vicious
Can I say this
Evil
one?
Network of Mayhem.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so stupid.
All they need after that is no girls allowed. It sounds like a child.
No
really,
girls allowed.
Because just it's the. I mean, it doesn't work as an adult watch.
Right.
No.
But it seems okay for a kid. I don't know. Whatever.
Did you want to go into anything else with your vehicle or anything, Scott? I know I kind of jumped off
Oh
topic.
no. Yeah, Bulldog is, like I said, I'm partial to the trucks of the line. Bulldog
It's
was
definitely
my
an
favorite.
awesome toy
Yeah.
too.
And then on the Venom side, which is kind of tough, a little tougher for me, but I would probably have to. I'd probably have to go with Switchblade
That's my overall pick for me.
because
Like,
it's
if I-
just
It's so cool.
it is, dude. Like the way it like when for me, like the helicopter's fine, but when he gets to the ship, like to the jet
Yes.
version, oh, I love
That's
it.
the one-
Yeah.
Scott, number one, that's the one that I kept telling you I kept playing with. That's the one where like the fin folds up and locks both propellers in place, and then that releases both wings to shoot out, making it a jet, and it is super cool. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
like
really is.
2 seconds and it's a jet from a helicopter.
And it was probably the best out of how all of those vehicles transform.
It was really well represented.
It was.
And it was really fun to play with. Like there's 2 of them at my shop right now, and I walk over there and pick them up and play with them every time.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at it right now. What do you think? What would you say it transforms into?
I say it's a helicopter into a jet.
No, I mean the. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went back to Bulldog.
Oh, Bulldog.
Bulldog.
I don't know. What
Oh.
that, I'm looking at it.
I
I don't
would-
know what that is.
I would say just like most of their the
A lot of
cars-
times it's just like, oh,
It's
I'm
a
an
tank.
armored semi now.
yeah, that's all it is. Yeah. If you look at the way the wheels when they flip over, they turn into like tank.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what they say it is.
What they say it is.
It is referenced on the box as a diesel truck / armored half track.
That seems right. That seems about right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a half track, like a World War II, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like on the boxes, it always says like it's this and this. So like if you ever want to know, just look up on wherever. Like a lot of the databases don't have the boxes, so I'll just go on eBay and be like that thing with the word box, and then I'll
Cool.
just read it off of that.
Awesome.
Madness.
So now I know. Now I can have a little more knowledge.
A little
and
more knowledge
A
about.
little more. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
And
But
I don't
yeah,
have one. I don't have a
well,
favorite.
here, let me continue just a hair here,
Go
Scott. Like
ahead. Do
I
it.
won't speak to the
I got
Switchblade much
nothing.
more, like just because we covered it. But like I always like that dude's mask a lot too, for whatever reason.
Oh,
It was
Miles
very-
Mayhem.
Yeah,
Oh,
I always liked his mask. Like Miles Mayhem's mask was cool. Like him overall is a little silly. Like he's kind of a cheesy villain.
He
He
did.
says a
Yeah,
lot of cheesy
he
stuff.
does.
In one of the episodes I watched, they set a trap for Miles Mayhem, and they popped out and shot lasers at him, and one of them hit his belt, and his pants fell down.
Yeah.
That sounds
Did
about
you-
right. He kind of
have-
feels like, I don't know why, but I always think of Pete whenever he's like
From,
it must be his
like, the
body
Mickey-
shape and like
Yep.
From Pete and Pete.
no, I mean like Pete from like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see
He's just
that.
like the bumbling idiot villain kind of thing.
The worst. I don't know if you guys if you had a chance to watch the later, like the very end couple episodes. There's like this whole. Oh, there's like too many. There were like 89 in every season. It's just
Oh, man.
craziness. But he had a brother, Max, and
Yeah.
it just
Yes.
gets even more. There's so much buffoonery between Max and Miles. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I watched it was from the second season, and he was like, and I guess they were planning to go legit and become race car drivers. And
That's the
They
one.
had the
Yes.
bus.
And
That's
he's
the-
like,
yeah, the
don't
Formula
trust
One car.
anybody named Mayhem. And he like totally
Yeah.
goofs on his brother. Like his brother was
Oh,
all
it's
down
so-
for it. It was so stupid.
Yeah. It's so, yeah.
But
So
yeah.
he's silly.
So aside from the Switchblade, which I agree with Scott, that to me is the coolest vehicle
Of all.
of all.
Yeah.
But
I
like
hear
if I to pick a M.A.S.K vehicle, then not a Venom side one, I would go with the Rhino just because it is so iconic to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And current, like when I was thinking about this, more recently, I thought like, yeah, I understand why they did that because they were probably just trying to pull any interest they could based on like Optimus Prime being
Yeah.
a famous icon.
Mhm.
Even though it's not the main thing, we're going to throw it on the logo. We're going to showcase it a lot in the show just because Optimus Prime's this semi truck that's super popular. And
Mhm.
then, like this one was really cool too. I mean, it's an awesome toy too. It's got all kinds of like compartments that open up and it fires missiles, and it's got the whole back tailpiece comes off, and is another whole vehicle. It's a cool toy as well, and it's always. I don't know if there's ever a time they don't include the Rhino in a mission. That's
He's
what I
all,
was-
well, it's basically their mobile command center.
right on.
Right. So it's like always has to be there. And what always made me laugh with that is, so you have like all these really fast killer like Corvettes and like 57 Chevys. What the hell? How's a truck going
Right.
to keep up with all that stuff? But it does. I don't know.
It's because it's also a
I'm
half
like,
track.
slow down, guys. I don't want to make Bruce feel bad.
He
Yeah,
only
it's
goes 5.
What?
Unless he switches back to his truck form, but
He
We're
doesn't
screwed.
even. He doesn't even know
Yeah.
how to shift gears.
no.
And that.
This is
And how do
embarrassing.
you like? I'm thinking about it now. They didn't really? I guess Thunderhawk does turn into a jet, but I'm like, how do they catch Miles? The dude's in a jet. Like,
Right.
what are you gonna do with your truck?
Well,
If
that's
you're
the
gonna
thing, though. Like the good guys, it always seems like they put in these shows the good guys at a disadvantage. Like they seem like they give the villains a lot more powerful vehicles, or
Mhm.
like more of the bad guys fly than the good guys and stuff like that. And that seems to be pretty universal in a lot of these cartoons. Like they almost make the good guys an underdog in a way.
Well, it's weird too, because if you watch the cartoon, you find out, like, say every time Mayhem comes up with their little scheme, right? So say they're like, I think I saw the one where they were trying to steal gold. Okay, so they're like, they went into India and they take all these different like statues and melt them down through the sewer and all this stuff, right? So like, finally Tracker figures it out, and they like just meet them. They just go to the place where they're taking the gold, and they're like, oh shit, we're caught, let's just give up. Like, I guess we gotta fly away because you have a jet, you can shoot at them too.
And it's
I
not
never-
like you haven't several
Yeah.
times.
Like, seriously, Rhino has tires, blow them out, dude.
Right.
You're done. What are you gonna do?
Done.
You could turn into the half track, and then he has a track.
Oh,
True.
the half
I
track.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not
Yeah.
thinking that technical about it, though. I can guarantee, just from watching like
Well,
a
if
few
Miles
of the
is losing his
episodes.
pants, I don't really
Yeah.
know what else.
I don't know. Like they were shooting all over the place, and it was coming from a car, and I'm like, why aren't they hitting more things? 'Cause
Why aren't
it's
they
like-
hitting? Dude, lasers don't ever make contact in these
No,
shows.
it's the worst weapon.
It's like Stormtrooper aiming on all these cartoons.
We've got it set to Stormtrooper. I don't know why. This
You've
keeps
got it
working.
set to Stormtrooper.
But
I think we're leaving out one of the worst aspects of how the dichotomy between the characters are. With the Sly Rax might be the dumbest human being to ever walk on any cartoon. Period.
Now, is it the Piranha?
Yeah, that's Piranha's driver.
Now, you said something about his voice the other day, didn't you, Scott?
Yeah, what were we talking about? How he
Well, I think both of you did actually.
I talked about different voice. Oh, was it?
Would you say he's the John Wayne one?
Is he the John Wayne?
Yeah,
one?
he does kind of have that a little bit in him.
There was
Yeah.
another voice that like I was. Oh,
It's Bruce Lee.
I know it sounds weird, but I kind of got like a Nicholson vibe off of him a couple times. Like,
Nicholson, yep, because he's like, I don't know what to do. Oh,
yeah.
gotta go.
It's almost like a
I'm
mixture
Miles.
depending on like how he's saying it.
I'm
Like,
so glad you said that because I remember that and I meant to write it down and I didn't. But yes, there's a Nicholson. There's a John Wayne and there's a Bruce Lee from the short few episodes that I've seen.
That's
but.
amazing. How awesome would it have been if the dude would have been like, because it would have fit so perfectly if he asked about where they get the wonderful toys. How perfect would it have been? Oh man, where did they get those wonderful vehicles?
well, then they always he's in like a ton of the episodes.
He's in
too.
like all of them. He's such an idiot.
Like,
and he's in everything.
They're sending Sly Rax out again.
Did you see the one episode where he was thought to be like he was the god of wind?
No, I don't know. Remember
Oh,
that?
Man.
You got to watch the one where he like basically Switchblade somehow is invisible. I don't know how this happens, but it's invisible, and he brings the wind, and like Sly Rax is in this mask, and he comes out and he's like yelling at these Aboriginal people. It's so awful, but it's great.
These like the storylines that they write these things into back in the 80s are so crazy sometimes.
I'm pretty sure they were mostly drunk. But I like how they're like celebrity impersonations, but they're not funny. Like
Right.
they're just like
It's meant to like we want this guy to sound like Jack Nicholson.
yeah. It's like
It's gonna be
I'm
badass.
drunk and I really like Jack Nicholson, so I'm just gonna make his voice. Are you gonna make it funny? No, I'm probably not. I'm just gonna
probably
be real
not. I'm
serious.
just gonna go straight Nicholson.
Deadpan Nicholson. That's all I do.
What
But-
happens if one of the writers does write like this amazing joke? Do they're all like, "Wait, we're not going to be as good as that.
We're gonna
like,
shoot
you
that
got to
down."
cut that.
I
Yeah,
couldn't.
take
I
it
couldn't
out."
sell that. I couldn't sell that
No.
joke. That's
Yeah.
what they're saying. Like, there's no way I could make that work.
He is way more ambitious about this than I am planning on.
We're gonna make him producer because ours died 5 years ago. I like how like in the show it's like 4 people doing every single voice in the entire show.
Yeah,
And
there's a
there,
lot-
and of course, like I said before, there's like a million characters, and it's like 4 dudes. It's
Yep.
it blows my mind. And of course, one of them, the guy is a Canadian voice actor, and he, I don't know. Did you guys notice that it sounded like, I don't know. The first thing I noticed when I first watched this show was these guys sound like all the anime movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And it is because Doug Stone, the Canadian voice actor, does like all the English dubs for all animes. So he does like all the voices, and that's why they have that same voice.
And
every character.
he's Solid Snake, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he is Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis, that's what it was. I
Psycho
remember you said
Mantis. My favorite part of one of my favorite games I've ever played was the Psycho
Wow.
Mantis part of Metal Gear Solid.
It's amazing how many of those voice actors are just always the same. Like they
Man.
don't change them. Like that must be the hardest job to get into.
voice
Like,
actors get around like herpes.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know what I
I
mean? Like their list of like things that a voice actor has done. You look at like Frank Welker, it's like 10 billion things.
Yeah.
I do think when I see a voice actor's IMDb, I think STDs. That's all I think because it's just like that's how they
so rampant.
so rampant. Just like
You are just a plague on this earth.
I don't know if you guys ever followed Tara Strong, but she's unreal, dude. And she
I'm not
does like
sure. I'm not sure
Tara's-
what you mean.
She does Powerpuff Girls. She did.
Oh, okay.
She does Twilight Sparkle, right?
Yep, she does Twilight
My Little Pony.
Sparkle. And if you like go on her Vine page or her Instagram page, like it's literally like, hey, I do all these like kid shows, but here are my huge breasts. And like it's crazy. Like because my daughter loves My Little Pony, and I'll watch the Vine. I'm like, oh, I can't show her that. Never mind.
Never mind.
Take it easy, lady. Goodness, you're a child actor.
Yeah, your Twilight
Have some
Sparkle.
decency.
Well, she cosplays too, so she's the voice of Harley Quinn in the animated series,
Really?
and she cosplays Harley Quinn, and it's like insane, dude. You got to look at it.
She just
it's
doesn't
great.
have her dad just didn't care.
It seems, yeah, it's so depressing because she seems like.
Well, she's doing
Yeah.
well. She's obviously making lots of money, but
she's
successful, but she's also a mess.
Yeah. That's why I'm sure everybody out there. We
They're
all
probably
are too,
like,
so
he's
who cares?
not a mess. I love
No,
him.
you don't say that about Rainbow Dash.
It's not Rainbow Dash. She does Twilight Sparkle, bro.
Oh, I messed it all up. It's
You
even
did.
worse. The more people are going to be like starting fires.
Oh man, they're gonna roll over your car.
It's like, man, you got to get up for work the next day and get to leave your house, and a brony stabs you on your front porch.
Beautiful.
You don't say that about Twilight Sparkle. She makes me who I am.
If I come by your house and do anything weird, it's not because of this.
Mhm.
You're killing me for a
Yeah, for
other
terrorism.
It's
reason.
because you're in one of those rock bands.
I
That's
just
why.
wanted to have a Carey skin suit.
Stage attire, man. I got to get it.
You gotta-
Right?
You got
It's just like it's like a hood of my head over. Like you just flap it up. It's like a hoodie, but it's like the top of my skull.
I should have
We
dried
have
this
them-
off. Now it's all
Should
bloody.
have tried this. Ah,
How come
man.
he sweats just as much when he's dead?
This is awful.
I never want to be Carey.
It's true. It's true.
Go ahead, Scott. You were
sweat.
saying something. What were you? Something about?
I don't know if I said anything or if it was my beard pushing against the
Oh, okay.
microphone.
That's hey, that means you got a good beard. I'm
Dude, I haven't had a trim for a while. But I'm not Carey though. I'm not there yet. He's got a nice one going.
I
I just
haven't
because I'm
shaved.
lazy.
I haven't shaved in a week, and I think I'm already at Carey because I got that Italianness in me. I win all the beard contests.
Some kind of Italian.
One greasy wop, crazy person. Oh, that was inappropriate. I shouldn't have said that. But I am one. Can I say that?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
you're allowed to say
that's
that.
our word, Scott.
It's not your word. It wop is, not wop us. Come on. I just took it too far.
So you need to pick a favorite vehicle, Scott.
Yeah.
I don't.
Just throw it out there. It
Even if
doesn't-
you don't want to pick one for each side, just pick an overall one.
You know what I like? I like the E-bot. He's a
T-Bob.
cool vehicle. T-Bot. T-Bot.
T-Bob.
T-Bob, yeah.
Is it bot or bot? I
Bob.
thought it was bot.
Bob is on Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob.
Well, I like
Which
that
make-
he turns into a little motorized unicycle, and I also
Mhm.
like the little kid named Scott. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
Oh, look at that. You
Like,
can just, like,
represent.
Here's what I don't understand.
Project yourself onto the
Mhm,
little.
I sure did.
How do you have I mean, obviously the tracker empire is just there's so much wealth there. Like you don't have somebody to watch your kid.
Yeah.
The
He's
dude
just
runs
running off with T-Bob all the
like
time.
seriously.
Keeps
He
getting
does-
kidnapped.
Yeah, like he just does the craziest shit and nobody
Set T-Bob
cares.
to
I have a
kill
couple of reservation Indians watching him right now.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't that happen?
Yes, that was the one.
Oh, and then at the end when he like seriously does something super fucked, Tracker does nothing. It's like totally cool.
Oh,
Like
Scott.
yeah, oh,
You
T-Bob,
almost-
make him a pizza. It's cool.
Make him a pizza.
Come a pizza.
And T-Bob's got that goofy 80s character voice.
Yes,
And I
he
know it's
does.
not the same actor, but when I hear it, it makes me think of the pilot guy from The Littles.
Oh
Nobody
wow,
watched the Half and Littles.
I,
Gary.
I just blew Scott's mind. He said, "Oh wow, I heard."
dude! No, I watched the Littles. I
I
You know
remember.
what I'm
watched them.
talking
I
about? The
watched
guy
them.
that like Grandpa was always calling a knucklehead.
Yep.
The
'Cause he
the
was-
one who
He's
flew.
got that
He's
whiny,
the flyer,
stupid
right?
face, basically.
He like flew the airplane, right?
Yeah, he
The-
flew
the
their little
skinny
model
guy.
airplane or toy
Yeah.
airplane or whatever.
Yeah, I know
it
him.
was.
There was it I forget what channel, because that was like one of those cartoons that like wasn't like
It snuck
Saturday
up on you
morning
here and
ready.
there. It was
think
like,
it was
Yeah, like
oh
it would
wait,
be
there's
on
the
like
Littles. I have
it's
no
like on
idea
a
when it's
third
on, but I
channel.
catch it every once in a while.
Yeah.
It was the one channel that you didn't get over
It wasn't
broadcast.
on a lineup.
Yeah.
It was like
I had like
extended
no
cable.
cable, so like I got whatever cartoons magically appeared on like the 8 channels that my. And I think that was at the pinnacle of it. I think we had like 3 to 5 usually.
Mhm.
I kind of wish you
Yeah.
had seen when we were living in Pittsburgh, and I was living at home, our like living room TV. Carrie, did you ever? No, I don't think you ever did see it. But
No, I think
liter-
that you were like, that guy's a little too rough and tumble to be going to my house.
I think I did think that for a while. I was like,
I know you did.
I
You were
know.
probably like, I don't know, man. He might shit in the living room.
and I feel so
My mom
bad
would
that
be
happened.
pissed.
I'm sorry, Carrie, but it was like 7 inches. It was not big, and I like had to sit on the floor in front of it to even see it. I was very, and I don't know why I never complained about it. Not once. I just sat
I
there.
just want everybody to know that I've actually been in Scott's house now, and I did my business in the toilet.
Did you? Was that
Actually,
there?
I was going to ask that now that that was brought up.
Oh man,
It's true.
so much.
Jeez.
That's
7-inch TV and
doing the business
shit on the
and-
carpet.
I've come a long way.
But what was I gonna, I don't know what the I thought this was pretty cool. It was the original broadcast of M.A.S.K was the first time they used closed captioning for a series, because God forbid the deaf
interesting.
people miss out on the great
But
dialogue.
they're gonna
that's-
not know what's going on. You don't hear that dialogue. Those plot points will be lost on you.
Oh my.
Oh, thank God, I know. He's
Oh,
signing
man.
ferociously.
Tracker
so excited.
is going to lead that mission. I got that.
And at the
Well, at least now I
beginning-
know I can put those on so I can actually follow along better.
What
Yeah.
a crazy like coincidence for
Yeah.
that to be like, oh, first show to have closed caption. Mask.
M.A.S.K.
And you know what makes me so frustrated? Every time I reference Mask, somebody's like, oh yeah, the Jim Carrey thing.
Yes.
Or, oh yeah, the Cher movie with Rocky Dennis.
Oh
like,
man, Rocky Dennis.
I can't watch that movie to this day,
I
dude.
can't, they did a really good job with his makeup, because
it's
like,
pretty crazy.
when I
you
switched to
ever
it, I'm
see-
like, oh my gosh, I can't watch this movie.
It's like a it's like a grown up garbage pail kid.
Well, I don't. Yeah, did you ever see the actual kid that it was patterned after?
No.
Like, if
Did
I
he
was
look
that
like
kid,
that?
I would sue, because he doesn't look nearly as fucked up as Eric
Really?
Stoltz does. Like, they made like it looked like a truck ran over his face.
He really
We
looked-
just put the tire here and spin it a little
And
bit.
just spin it. Oh God, it's
yeah,
so
yeah,
terrible.
that's pretty messed up. I didn't know it was that bad, because he was like, I just couldn't watch it because of how disturbing
Well,
his
that-
face
It's a
was.
sad movie too.
It's
Like,
so depressing, dude. But here's the sad thing: it's the Elephant Man. I mean, they
right.
basically
I mean, it's basically
pulled-
it's a modern version
yeah,
of that.
they pulled the plot, and there it is. Except they just added like Cher and skimpy clothes riding a bike with
Shares
Sam Elliott.
It's disturbing.
Sam Elliott. I love Sam Elliott.
Oh, dude, he's the quintessential man.
Into
You
the
can't
mouth of madness.
You can't control
Oh, I
that
know what you mean.
mustache. That mustache like hangs to his balls.
And
Yeah.
and he's had it
That thing
forever.
curls over his lips and down his throat. That thing is ridiculous.
If I could ever just speak like that guy,
Yeah.
I would. I mean, my God.
I demand your attention, kind of a voice.
Yeah. And then even like the Ford commercials he does, you're like, holy shit, I gotta buy a
I
Ford.
gotta buy a Ford.
Like, if I don't buy a Ford, I'm like 2% man.
You
That
have no,
sucks.
you have no testicles if you don't buy a Ford.
Yeah.
That's
You
Sam
just don't
Elliott
have
said
them.
to you. Yeah, he's a tall drink of water. That's for sure.
Yep.
Tall drink of water.
He's tall as hell.
Oh, going back to M.A.S.K real quick before we forget. Remember the mute guy, the big biker that couldn't talk.
No.
I'm trying to
Wait.
think what the hell his name
What
was.
was
He
his-
just had like
oh.
one of those biker nicknames. It's like Bear or something like that. You know what I mean? And he doesn't talk through the whole movie. Like he just like nods and stuff like that. And then when Rocky graduates, he's like stutters, proud of you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. I can't remember his
I wish
name.
I
Did
could
he
think
even
of
have
his name. It's something like Bear or something. I know it's not
pig
that.
or bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a big kick out of him. Like he like took him to school and saw on the back of his motorcycle and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. So nobody would screw with them in the school. They're like,
Yes.
"Oh, you got your face, man. People are gonna just pick on you,
The
and it's gonna be
Spikers gonna
terrible."
come just
But we're gonna,
gut you
yeah,
if you do anything.
we're gonna put Miles Mayhem on a motorcycle and take you to school.
That's right.
I like if you type in Rocky. The first thing is Rocky Horror Picture Show. The second
Really,
thing,
it beats Rocky Balboa.
and second thing, Rocky Dennis. Third thing,
Really?
Rocky Marciano. And then there's
I'm gonna go with that. That's based on user searching. I'm gonna go with that's Scott.
I do not search.
You're just all Rocky Horror Picture Show over there. All
I'm
you're
looking
like
at
sitting. You're like sitting in Tim Curry's costume, searching about Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know it.
I don't know. He looks pretty messed up.
He does. Have you never watched it?
No, I'm talking about the real kid. He
Oh.
looks really.
Does he
messed
look-
up. It's not like a banana. It's more like a like what? Because I think Eric Stolt looks more like a banana. Eric's was
Yeah, he
to
definitely-
him.
it
He's
was
more
like-
like an apple. It's like outward.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's almost like they watched that old '40s silent black and white movie where the moon,
Yes.
like he kind of looks like a crescent moon
yeah. He's just
with like all the weird shit, and then that middle fucking nose thing.
Yeah.
Oh, every time I look at it, it drives me nuts. I
It's
can't do it.
crazy. I can't even. I literally would change at the moment I saw it. Like I accidentally like switched to it. I'm like, what? And it's gone. Can't do this. I can't sit through a movie like that.
The worst part about that movie too is like I sort of sympathized with him because like when I was younger, I still kind of have sinus problems, but if I would lay flat, I couldn't breathe. So I'm like watching this movie and I'm like, oh, I can't watch it. Oh, I have the same problem almost.
That's how I always
no.
imagined Carey would die.
Oh.
Laying on his just flat.
Oh, Carey's got he got a deviated
Oh,
septum.
Carey got
Now
to the
he's gonna
garbage.
die.
He ate the chocolate.
There go his throat.
Oh.
He laid down. That was a bad call. Don't lay down.
He's running out. He ran out into the woods, like like a hurt animal, and died somewhere.
He thinks the coyotes are gonna fix him.
He had some kind of pact with the coyote god. I don't know. There was some kind of weird rambling before he just kind of wandered off into the woods.
Peter Bogdanovich.
What is that?
That's the guy who wrote and I guess directed the movie. I don't know.
So I heard, and did anybody else hear about this? I know I keep mentioning it to you. I didn't even hear. I seen something on Facebook, a week ago, and I know you know how reliable that is. But I thought that I had saw somebody made mention of doing like a fan movie of M.A.S.K.
You know, I
ever find
never,
anything?
No, I didn't.
I never saw them talk about it, but I'm also not looking very much for it. So maybe.
It just popped onto my feed one day, and it had a picture
Wow.
of like.
Well, did you?
It had a cockpit and a person in like a mask kind of thing.
So it's like
Yeah.
action.
Yeah,
hmm
and like I mean, if it was gonna look of the quality of the picture that was shown, it might be something really cool, even if it is like a B movie kind of thing.
I was gonna say I did spend an extensive amount of time Googling it, and by extensive I mean that probably like 2.5 minutes, which was
You
like
got
hell.
super angry and blew your computer up.
I mean, which I was gonna die because I'm like, why can't I find this immediately? This is ridiculous. But
that instant gratification
Yes.
from Google anymore, that if you actually can't find something, you throw the biggest baby tantrum ever.
it's kind of like even like because I have like Googled things for an extended period of time, which was longer than 5 minutes, and sometimes I think if it's not showing up on the first page of Google, it doesn't exist. I don't know what to say. I think that's true. Like I refuse to believe it, but I'm starting to turn my mind.
I'm still in just total and utter disbelief at the businesses that open up around me that don't ever get a website.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, just even throw up that one page piece of crap that's got your, name and phone number and address on it. Like, to not have one period is just madness to me.
I've seen
We
people
live-
who have no business and have websites. I'm like, why do you have a website? Why do you have a website? It's just you. It says your name on it. I don't know, and it
Just
has your
wanna
Twitter.
let you know what I got going on.
I think the big thing that would, if anybody would ask me, like, number one, why do you even like this horse shit? Okay. For me, it was like somebody said, let's take Transformers and G.I. Joe and smash them together.
I mean, it's
Right?
exactly what it is.
It is. That's
the
what it
baby
is.
of those two
It's just a baby.
franchises.
And I mean, I think the weird thing to me too is I've always done this to myself. You know, there are certain 80s cartoons we all love that kind of sort of hold up. But like, as much as I love like Transformers, there's times when I watch it and I go, what are they doing? Really? Like,
I get
it's-
bored of a lot of like the human plot lines they get put into. That's the hard part
Yeah.
for me for watching a lot of the old ones with like the mad scientists and
Or if
stuff
you-
like that. You know,
if you watch
Dr.
He-Man,
Archibald.
yeah, if you watch He-Man, to me, honestly, I love He-Man. He-Man's unwatchable. It's unwatchable.
It's one
It
big
is.
homoerotic joke.
It's so unwatchable. I can't do it. So like, I think the redeeming quality of Mask is like it's so ridiculously like the way the villains are. They're just like funny to me.
I think I've been having an easier time watching it. Like,
Yeah,
I did a thing many years ago at the office, and I called it TV Tuesday, and I had like people come and I would bring some goofy cartoon of some sort in to watch. You know,
Mhm,
on Tuesday at lunchtime, we would all sit and eat our lunch in the conference room, and I brought we did He-Man a couple different times, and it's like every time they're fighting, it's just like this awkward.
Yes.
Oh
Grap-
god.
It's like this awkward grappling is all I can really call it sometimes. It's like I'm gonna bear hug you.
Come here,
Oh,
big
yeah,
guy.
you just get bear. I'm a bear hug.
I'm gonna
him.
kiss you while I'm here.
I'm like,
Just real quick. You won't notice.
and it's so funny because my one friend who's a bigger He-Man fan than me, because I'm there like laughing through like half the episode. And he's like frustrated because I think it's funny when he like is enjoying it for like him loving it from his childhood, and I'm just like laughing. And don't get me wrong, He-Man was the first big property for me, like like,
yeah.
toy line wise, like that was the first big cartoon toy series that I got into.
I don't understand how you couldn't like because I'm the same. I'm right with. I'll watch it. I love the toys. I own a lot of the toys. I own, but if you can't watch that and not get the humor
Oh,
of
so funny.
of Prince Adam grabbing Beastman from the back,
Yes.
obviously, and like I don't know what he's trying to do to him. Doesn't look like he's hurting him though.
It doesn't look like he's hurting.
He likes it. It's okay. They're playing. It's a game.
And he's Beastman. How you gonna like bear hug Beastman?
Right?
You're gonna.
Because he's a
It's
beast. Bears are beasts.
yeah,
friend.
you're slowly caressing
Yeah.
Beastman. Is what
Yeah.
you're doing.
It's so
Putting him
funny
to
too
sleep.
because like just like with Mask and all these other cartoons, they make the villains so moronic, and it's
Oh,
not even.
man.
It's like it's so campy moronic. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I mean obviously these guys are gonna lose. They're super stupid.
And sometimes it's not even like the villain's the bad guy. His henchman, like that, he keeps around every
every
episode.
henchman's
He's
incapable.
like and he just asks them to do it, and they don't do it, and because they're tripping over each other's heads. I don't know, but it's
Yes.
like ridiculous, and I'm like, this is just hard to watch. And
This is coming up in your quarterly report.
yes, we're gonna
must just-
start a demerit system, and you're fired.
You're fired.
Well, you would think like all those shows are based in the future. Like they don't have some sort of good temp agency.
Yeah,
for,
right?
For like
No
goons
henchmen, no henchmen.
Yeah,
You were
like
doing like the
henchmen
work for welfare for the villains that we've been recruiting. This guy was just a recovering drug addict.
He knows one word. That's it. I completely agree with the hard to watch. Like, it's amazing to like who was writing these things, and how many like retarded people did this script have to go through before it got made. Like, people had to draw this and spend hours drawing these things, and this is what comes from it. It's surprising, but and after watching like M.A.S.K and stuff like that. Just like remembering it, it wasn't that bad. I think it was
No,
more.
it
It was
was
more
actually
hokey.
watchable.
It was
Yeah.
hokey. Like they're trying. Like they just like we don't care. We know these things. Everybody's awful, but we're not even gonna try and not be awful. They like inserted like the most ridiculous phrases from the most ridiculous people at the most ridiculous times, just because they're like, somebody at one point should say this, and then we got to work it in there.
Gotta
And so
work it
it's
in there.
So the little boy's like,
That's gonna be his catchphrase. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's out of context. Like,
he's a scientist, but he's like, suck it, something. I don't know. Like
it's hard to work in him saying "suck it" during science times. And we'll make it work.
He'll make it work. It'll happen. Or like little Scotty saying, "You guys have testicles, and I want to punch him in the face." I don't know. It's just like
He's always
something-
whining about
yeah.
being left out.
Yeah. But they really it's like, I think before they wrote the script, they're like, this is a cool thing to say. This is a cool thing to say. This is a cool thing to say. Now put it in there and make a movie.
Well, you know what's funny? I know that I want to say, I can't remember if it was Transformers or G.I. Joe. Which one precedes the other one, cartoon wise? 82 for G.I. Joe, right? And I think 84 for Transformers. So I think I think it's about G.I. Joe. Then I remember reading something to the effect that either the producers or some powers that be at the company wanted them to integrate every toy into every episode of the cartoon, to which the writers were like, yeah, that's not realistic. You know,
Is
and
this the
not only is it not
Transformers?
realistic, it's going to make the quality so bad if you can't focus on a couple people at a time here and there, you know, to flesh out those characters.
Was this M.A.S.K? They said
No,
this
this
or
is G.I.
Transformers?
Joe.
G.I. Joe. Oh
Wow.
my goodness, that'd be ridiculous.
So I mean, like you have to understand that too, is like the executives treat these things like a giant commercial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like I have one other thing to say. I have two other things to say about it. We can work it in later. But the tagline for the show, illusion is the ultimate weapon. When do they ever use illusion as a weapon?
I guess it's just I think it's another thing where they're just reaching out for the whole more that meets the eye kind of.
Mhm.
Oh, good point. Good point.
You
That
know,
is
or-
probably
yeah.
exactly how the business meeting went. Like, so we
Or-
need this to sound like Transformers. What can we do?
We'll have a transformer. We'll have a semi on the front of it and a tagline very similar.
Could it be that, which is still hilarious in its own right, but the illusion was that this is just a truck, dude. This is not a command
Swear
center.
to
So
It is more than meets the eye.
yeah, it's not a command center. Even though Venom sees these transform every damn time, it's just a semi truck, buddy.
Chill,
It's just
bro.
a gas
chill.
station.
Yeah. It's just a gas station.
Yeah.
Diesel
I guess-
unleaded. What do you need? Oh, don't pay no attention to the half track coming out of the bottom of me. Don't worry about it. Look away. Look away. But and I like how there was one other thing. Oh, I thought this was kind of cool, and it's not like funny or anything. But the toy line lasted longer than the TV series. Like I think
Toy
it
line
went.
was terrific.
I think it went on like 4 or 5 years after the show was over,
That's crazy.
which I thought was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think when they went into that split seconds stuff, there wasn't.
Is that where they had all the clones?
Yeah, was that? I don't remember much of that in the cartoon at all.
Something I have to hurry up and address because it's been overlooked this whole time, and I think it may be one of the most important things I'll ever say.
Spit it out, Carey. Come on.
The fact that there's a Billy Idol action figure in this.
Oh, I can't believe we stopped. We didn't even talk about that.
Yes.
He has the damn grunt. He has the
Yes,
little
he's
lip
got the
quiver.
snarl. Like they modeled this guy off of Billy
What's his
Idol.
name?
There's no way that it's not him.
Yeah,
Why can't I
That-
think of his name? Lester, isn't it?
Floyd Malloy.
Floyd Malloy. Is there a Lester?
There's a Lester Sludge. Yes,
Sludge.
It's
Floyd
just-
Malloy
These
Floyd Malloy
names.
is Billy Idol.
is Billy Idol.
Is
Just
Billy
like
Idol.
the one is Bruce Lee and the other one's
Mhm.
Jack Nicholson.
Wait till you see this. I mean, like they had to have modeled it off of him.
I just wish
Do you
my
think-
computer would work?
Do you think it was? Were they modeling him like Rebel Yell? Billy
Oh yeah.
Idol.
Well, he's got the
Yeah.
leather jacket.
Oh
and all
yeah,
that
he's
stuff.
definitely Billy Idol. Look at that. He's
Yep.
beautiful looking.
He's beautiful.
Oh, he's got a real dirty smile. He's got that dirty like lip
Yep.
thing. It's not
If
even-
I was Billy Idol, I would have considered this my action figure. I would have picked it up and be like, I can just picture like a really inebriated Billy Idol walking through like a Kmart for whatever reason, and he just, that's a fucking action figure of me.
I'm surprised he never sued
I know. I would sue for.
I would be excited. I would just buy it.
because it's like a whatever, like when you take person's image.
Yeah, you know what? And and there's a whole lot of this with I don't know if anybody reads comics here or Scott, but Mark Miller, the UK writer, he does a lot of that. Like Wanted, it was fashioned after Eminem, and he actually he was responsible for Samuel L. Jackson getting cast in Avengers because he did a revamp of Nick
The
Fury,
ultimate
and
Avengers.
he made him look just like he was like, I'm going to base him off Samuel L. Jackson, so they made him look like Samuel L. Jackson, and that's why Samuel L. Jackson got
That's
cast
why he
in
was cast, because he was.
Wow.
and I don't know how they get away with that. That's that.
Well, could it, unless they're just, since it's a comic book or like a cartoon, it can be considered like a parody, maybe, or
I don't
something.
know. I don't.
I don't know
mean,
rights and stuff.
I
like
don't know
that.
what the rights about a likeness is. You know what I mean? That's
It must
I think
be
it's
pretty.
it's probably a tough to win kind of scenario. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot easier to say they took my name, they took my image. You know, like
Yeah.
if it's
Mhm.
like a logo or something like that. But like saying like, oh, look at that thing, they drew it just like me, and it's like, well, there's other people that look like you in the world, kind of thing. You know?
But then there's
Yeah.
like Celebrity Deathmatch where they all have their own names, and
But I
they
mean, that's
fashioned it.
definitely parody.
Is that okay? I guess it is.
Yes,
It
like
must.
Yep.
well, I mean, think of like SNL would not be able to
Yeah.
exist otherwise.
I don't know.
Same
that's
with
all.
like how Robot Chicken would do all theirs.
Right.
They didn't have to license any of those
All
likenesses.
parody.
Yeah.
Oh, they even have a picture of what is his name? Why can't I think of his name all the time? Billy Idol. When I Google Floyd Malloy.
Oh,
he
they even
comes
came
up.
up with a
Yeah.
picture of Billy Idol.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, this is him.
Somebody needs to do Rebel Yell
With a Floyd Malloy.
and stop. Yeah, Floyd Malloy stop
Yeah,
action.
that would be terrific. And you know what? That's something else to check out sometime. If you guys haven't, because I revisited some of the old 80s commercials for the toy line. They're actually
Mhm.
really well done. They have like a live action, section where there's like people dressed up as the people from the show with real vehicles that look like the vehicles from the show. And then they drive to this tunnel and it comes out like with the little kid playing with it.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna look those up.
It's really cool. Like
Is that
they're
Mask?
yeah, it's a well done commercial.
Wow. So they spent more money on the commercial than they did the cartoon.
Right?
They're like, look how
we don't need writers. Nah. But this commercial, we have to make sure. Let's
Yeah,
get
it was
Jack
gotta
Nicholson.
Cool.
get him in.
Something else I wanted to point out that like I always like jokingly think to myself, like, the main base for the good guys is Boulder Hill, which is a gas station when it's not a battle station.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I think of like the outlaw truck that has, its own, like it's Venom, or no, it's snake oil. It says on the side. So it's like a, oil truck or whatever. And I always jokingly think to myself that it's two warring gas station companies, gas companies fighting each other. It's like
Well, here-
So
Matt Tracker's
relevant.
gas station versus Miles Mayhem's gas station.
There could be like this whole secondary story that they never showed where like when they're not transformed, like there was a deal between Miles and Tracker where like, hey, we need a truck to get us our gas.
Yeah, right. We
Like-
don't know that you're this guy.
Yeah, we don't know that you're outlaw. Maybe you're just the truck that gives us our gas.
Yeah. It's every time he's so hopeful. He's like, oh, that's it. That's the truck with. Oh no, it's transforming.
Every time this other car shows up, all of a sudden it transforms into this. There's something, the other vehicle shows up and we fight.
I thought we had a
What?
deal.
10 minutes later.
I like his motorcycle, Floyd Malloy's motorcycle. It's
Vamp?
Them. Yeah.
It's like a 40-year-old overweight man's motorcycle.
Mhm.
It's just him with like one of those obese twins that they have in that picture, the two fat guys riding on them.
And I like it's like, where they have to put like so much stuff in the back of the motorcycle, and that's basically what it's
Scott,
a glorified
with a
scooter.
bare bones bike, what would it transform into? It's got to have compartments to transform.
It's got
You got to store the wings,
yeah,
my
and
friend.
the turbojets too.
The turbojets don't just store themselves.
It
We're
is
not playing Transformers rules here.
Yeah. Okay.
That is a good point, though. That's a really good point. Why would a dude that looks like Billy Idol, that's kind of probably younger,
He's driving like a
riding a
motorcycle that you're like
Harley Davidson
70-year-old
touring
uncle would buy.
cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like like what do they call those bikers? The
I re-
weekender guys.
Yeah.
Weekend Warriors.
I retired 5 years ago. Now I got myself a bike.
I was on pre-order for this Harley for 6 years.
Everybody said I was stupid, but I guess I'm stupid. I like his mask though. It's kind of cool. It's probably one of the cooler masks.
He's got to have his hair stick out the top, make it
Yeah, more
fancy.
more rock and roll.
Rock and
I
roll.
like how Maximus or is it Miles? Which one's a real bad guy?
Miles is
Yeah.
I would say Miles is the leader.
He
though.
kind of looks like Cobra Commander with his little mask.
I think that's
It's
what makes
reminiscent.
and they really did kind of pull a lot of influences in. That's definitely a Cobra Commander vibe there.
But but they're the same like production company, right? Deke, whatever it is, DIC.
Is that who released it?
Yes. They're like
Yep.
the
Yeah,
same.
you were correct. Yeah, I think it's all the same. Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna fight against each other.
So on Wikipedia it says inventor Kenner company Hasbro. Does Hasbro own the rights to M.A.S.K now or something? Did they ever produce that M.A.S.K? I always thought it was Kenner.
It was all Kenner, the whole toy line, but maybe they
Oh, you know why? Hasbro bought Kenner, didn't they?
Yep.
That's
so
why
they
it
just moved over to them.
That's what I was trying to figure out. It's like, oh, so they do actually own that property then, and they could pump some of that out.
Oh,
So
that
it's
would be
Kenner
fantastic.
or
Hasbro owns, because they bought Kenner, so I'm guessing they would then own the rights.
Yeah, and I like how they're like, you know what? Let's not do a M.A.S.K movie. Let's do a battleship movie. That won't be retarded
right?
anyway.
Is that a good idea?
We'll make it so it's like a battleship game, and they have to play, and it's like a real people battleship game. It's not going to look stupid. It's not, I swear. Oh, it's stupid.
Now, I've never watched this movie. Did they actually make any references to the game in the movie?
I didn't watch it.
I'm hoping they're like, B12, there's amazing B12.
I did read that they do there is like a battleship setup where somehow things become like battleship and they have to do like the B12, and it's all very unfortunate and I'm never going to watch it. But
so sad. Why doesn't somebody tell Liam Neeson to just stop doing this stuff? Like seriously, Taken 4? Are you really going to have another
You're
Taken?
gonna pay me. I'll show up.
his wife's already dead, right? His wife's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, shoot in a skiing accident.
I got nothing else to do. I'm just sitting at home watching TV. Did they ever show a villain lair?
You know what?
The equivalent of a
No.
Boulder Hill?
Not that I know of.
That's disappointing. Like the villain's lair is always like the cool one too.
Yeah, they never did one. Maybe that's why.
You know, I think we've run this dry because Google says so. You know, if you type in M.A.S.K, it's
and
not
I have
gonna
to
pop.
share that tidbit of information with everybody. Like how we usually do some, goofy facts about something. We couldn't even find a database of facts about M.A.S.K other than like Wikipedia, where you're not really going to get that goofy list of things. Like IMDb does not even have trivia about M.A.S.K.
It's the redhead stepchild.
Like it just is amazing to me that somebody that doesn't there's always somebody that loves a property so much that they're the one that has to make sure it's represented out there somehow.
Yeah.
And like M.A.S.K is sitting there with no love. Like why has there not been somebody to fill out that trivia? You know what I mean? It's not that low on the totem pole. Like, I've seen some bad stuff on IMDb that's got trivia. It'll have like 3 pieces of trivia about it, but it's got trivia.
Yeah. What?
There is not one piece of trivia about it.
Something that's like locally distributed in Pittsburgh, and it's got like 15 things because the director's writing it himself. But still, like, it's ridiculous. And I mean, it had 2 seasons, guys. It's pretty popular. I mean, people watched it.
It had 4 series of toys too.
Yeah,
it's crazy. 75
Back
episodes.
And I mean, people remember it. People still love it. People still collect it. Nobody
has anything to say about it, though.
Apparently not.
It's like
it must be the Maybe it's just because it's gonna play second banana to GI Joe.
G.I. Joe and Transformers,
It's
yeah.
always like,
Like
Yeah, I
it's
think
probably people that like one heavily, then their spillover, and is in the Mask a little bit. Like I love GI Joe, and sometimes I check out Mask.
it's like
I love Transformers. Sometimes I check out Mask,
it's a footnote, you know.
Mhm.
which is unfortunate because
it's so
it is
unfortunate.
cool.
It is.
the toys are main. I think that's like the real big draw is how cool
Toys
the
are
toys
really
are.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
toys
It's
are
a
cool.
completely valid, toy property and show. It's not like it was any worse than any of the other crazy shows that we love,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would put it above a lot of ones that I think get a little more attention even.
Yeah.
Like there's other like lesser properties in my opinion that do get more attention. So for whatever reason, it remains kind of like the overlooked property still.
And as you can tell, me and Carey agree on this. So there's going to be no facts and no beard versus beard this episode
This is
either.
a real happy, touchy-feely
Which
time.
is so disappointing because we have 3 beards now, and it could have been like
Yeah,
beard
there's
on
3.
beard on beard.
We like
And
yes,
it would have
we
been
just
like
take
straight
up weapons and have a fight.
We could have somebody could have made an alliance. We could have,
Oh man, I didn't even think about
it
that.
would have been great. And, of course.
I could just make an alliance with both of you and just win. Just
Hooray.
like, you two just stab each other. I am the victor. They both fell for it. I was like, I'll come in and help right at the end. And then you both just kill each other.
And, and to drive your point for home further about it being a valid show and toy line, it's named by IGN. It was named 99th best animated series.
That's
way
impressive.
more than 100 animated series is made in the 80s.
God,
And
so many.
Yeah.
it beat out a whole bunch. Suck it,
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that it's down to 99.
I know.
Yeah, I would have thought 73.
Is it all time or is it 80s?
It's IGN. Who cares?
I got you.
We have a website.
But who else? But who else is gonna rate this stuff?
Anybody. Just it's not
Anybody.
they
Just-
don't get the viewer count that IGN gets. So.
Well, I think we have said all that we have to say about M.A.S.K. I mean, I wish there was more, media forms of media that it was in, or people would pick up and do something with it for a future property. It was really nice having Scott on. Thanks for being our first celebrity guest as the guitarist
You really
from
are.
Sayo.
So,
My pleasure.
And as always, I mean, you can check us out on warpzoneonline.com. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook. Scott will have this up on iTunes and YouTube shortly. And, get a hold of us. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep deciding.
yeah, and it's gonna be it's only downhill from M.A.S.K. It's unfortunate. But
If you guys have already gotten a mask, it's probably the problem. Huh?
we've already
Yeah.
done a My Little Ponies too. So
I'm
just
not
so you know,
going. It's
Scott,
not like a countdown. I'm just randomly picking.
It is a countdown. Anything
I will
after
be honest,
M.A.S.K.
though. We have done G.I. Joe and Transformers already.
Yes, so it is.
Cool.
So I guess it is, second banana.
Well, it was nice talking to you guys. Goodbye to all
Bye,
the
everyone.
audience out there. You guys don't have
Bye,
to.
everybody. And then you cue the music. Mass Crusaders. All right. No, I'm sorry. The credits one starts differently. It goes, Secret Warriors. Is that what it is?
The Empire strikes back with multiple laser attack, Decepticon infiltration, stealing information, type of communications with Recordicons, target massive sound wave stereo. I don't believe in a no-win scenario for an epic adventure, no retreat, no surrender. Cleaning up the city with Mayor Mike Hagar, clashing with the Foot Clan in the shadows of the streetlights, spotlights, bright lights, and if you got a new pet, don't feed him after midnight. Cruising on our bicycles, we never say die. From the attic to the basement, uncovering the secrets with the power bracelet. Ryu and Ken style, kicking it on the pavement. 88 miles per hour, we out of time. Meanwhile, at Warp Zone.